Thank you so much, Huey. Good morning from California, very dry California. This presentation is going to try to help some of us get some better ideas and suggestions and whatever for getting presentations for our groups. We know it's a thankless position. At least most program chairs, I think, is the most difficult job in the group. We need to find presenters for at a minimum 12 meetings a year. And then there's the groups that throw in 2 potlucks, so that's only 10. We have some groups that meet each week here in California. There's 3 of them. And we have some that meet twice a month. And we have to have the ability to find presentations that the majority of members like, which, be honest, it usually doesn't happen. And as I said, this is sometimes the most difficult and time-consuming position in your group. And I imagine many program chairs would agree with me. So we all know that it is very difficult to find presenters these days. And when we find them, it's even more difficult to talk them into presenting. As Sam Wexler says, we should tell them it's like a sales call to fill in the blank on how many members and guests you have at an average meeting all at one time. He finds that very helpful. The problem is in this day and age, we're having to recruit new vendors. And they're all new to user groups, haven't got a clue who we are or what we do, so we need to sell ourselves, sell the concept of how we can help them. One thing, if your editor is on a newsletter share list, the information about the meeting goes out to all of the other groups. A little bit more bang for their buck. Members see a presentation and talk to others about what they've learned. We talk to friends, relatives, complete strangers, albeit fries, and somebody will be looking at a piece of software. And if I have recently had a presentation or within the last year or so, I'll step up and say, you might want to consider using this, blah, 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 blah. Many of us are teachers, and I know I share all kinds of programs and information about the presentations that we've had at my club with my students. They're newbies, and I figure as much information as I possibly can give them, it's going to be a win-win situation. And again, I'm spreading the word for the vendors. When System Mechanic comes to call, they're in east of Los Angeles, I get so excited when I hear them say, we are their evangelists. And the Intuit boys used to call us that. And I think that's something that we need to stress. We talk about what we learn. We share their product information with the whole free world. Come on out, talk to us, and let us become your evangelists. Okay? So we finally have somebody that's going to come out. We need to be considerate of their time and their energy and their money. They are guests at our meeting. We need to treat them just like they are coming into our very own home. If you happen to have a time or you have a member or members that will, invite them to dinner before the meeting. They love it. Post-meeting, if you have a pig sig or you can get a few people to go out for dessert, that's great too. Even if they say no, you've made the offer, and that's what counts. Please remember to put a bottle of cold water on the table. Don't have them say, excuse me, do you have something cold I can drink, or do you have any water? Have it there first. Again, if they don't use it, fine, but it's the thought that counts. Please make sure the presenter gets on first. Have your general meeting afterwards. I have been to some meetings where there's the general meeting, there's this, there's that, and the presenter sits at the head table for 30 to 45 minutes twiddling their thumbs. Be considerate of their time. Have your tech guru assist the presenter in setting up his or her equipment. Again, I have been to meetings where the presenter has come in, kind of looked around. Nobody really greeted him or said, hi, here's Joe or Joni who is going to help you set up your equipment. they've walked up to the head table and tried to set it up themselves. No good. Make sure there's help at the end of the meeting. Again, I have been at meetings here in Southern California where I have been a guest and I have been the only one who's been left in the room, and I have felt compelled to stay, chat with the vendor, help them put all their equipment together, and walk out to the parking lot with them. That wasn't my job as a guest. That was the people who were having the meeting. Somebody should have stayed behind. Please, vendors hate this with an absolute passion. Don't inflate your attendance numbers. Don't tell them you're going to have 50 people there when in reality you only have 26. And you might share your group's level of experience. If they come and give a presentation that is well over your members' heads, your members aren't going to like it. They're not going to like whatever they're talking about, and the vendor is going to realize he's talking to the wrong audience, or he needed to gear his presentation down to a different level, whether it be intermediate or beginners, or put a mix of that information in the presentation. When you're looking for presenters, look for products that your members will use. If you have somebody come in that has a very expensive product that only does one thing, you might not be doing a service for the vendor or your members, because nobody's going to be interested in using it. And please promote the products in your newsletter. After you've gotten confirmation that you do have a live body coming to your meeting, send them a packet of information about a month in advance minimum. And you guys might have things that you can add to my list, but at a minimum, include when they should arrive. You don't want to receive an email from them saying, "What time should I be there?" And you think to yourself, well, you know, I told them when the meeting started, but no, should they be there 15 minutes early? Should they be 30 minutes early? Give them an overview of what happens at your meeting. At 7 o'clock, we're doing this. We'll have a short introduction, you know, hi, thank you for coming to the June meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll be introducing you as a speaker. The floor is yours. Please include your website address. They're going to look and see if you've got information about the meeting up there. Include directions and a map. My club meets between the 5th and the 14th here in California, and I have a link to the Google map, plus I have, you know, written instructions, so to speak, that I include in the email. Include local hotel information. If they're spending the night, they might not be one of these people who have cards that get them a discount at a hotel, and it saves them having to spend their time and energy looking for hotels that are close to where you meet. Tell them what kind of equipment you have. We have surround sound speakers. We have a little speaker. We have a microphone for you. It's a headset. It's a microphone on a little boom, whatever. Don't let them be surprised when they get there. And please, check out the equipment before they arrive. I give a presentation to a group about once a month here, and I've gone in a couple of times and the mic's been dead. The headset mic battery's dead. One time they had fresh batteries. The next time somebody had forgotten to replenish, and there was a big scramble on where are we going to get batteries. Exchange cell phone numbers in case there's a problem with their getting there. If my people are coming up the 5, the traffic is just horrible on the 5 and the 14. So they're stuck in traffic. They appreciate having a number to call. I appreciate having, you know, a number to call and say, hi, you know, are you stuck in traffic or whatever. Ask how they want to handle questions. Do they want to do it during the presentation? I know Abby Stokes has absolutely no problem answering them on the fly. Some other presenters, hold them to the end, please. But find this information out in advance. Ask them, are there any handouts that need to be copied? Now, if you're a group that can't afford copying, or you have no facility for copying, don't ask that question. Also ask if you can have a copy of the presentation to post somewhere. Some presenters will give it to you, and some, it's their personal information and they really don't want to share. It doesn't hurt to ask. They can say no. And please, we need to help the vendors be successful. ROI. Is the vendor selling product? Hey, it's how they make their living. They're paying their airfare, hotel, rental car, food, if they happen to be coming in from out of town. Have a table reserved for the vendor to sell their products if that's what they're going to do at the meeting. Ask if they need a member to help. Get one of your more reliable members to help them. And please promote the buying opportunity to members and in your media releases that you send to whoever you send it to. Don't let your members or guests come in and say, oh my gosh, I love that product, but I don't have a credit card, I don't have any money with me. You know, they're just not probably going to leave you a copy with your smiling and say, I'll send you the money. Ask if they're going to provide a user group discount. Hopefully it's yes, but whatever. Are they going to give you product for your door prizes? And then ask, do you want it to be given to all of the attendees? Would you rather it's only for members? Would you like to do the drawing before you leave? If you happen to have other door prizes that you do at the end of meeting, perhaps they don't want to stay until the end of the meeting. Include it in the media release that you have a user group discount for attendees. And follow up, follow up, follow up. They are usually very, very busy, and you don't want to get lost in the crack of, oh my gosh, I forgot I was supposed to be there. Public relations. Cross-advertise. If you have groups in your area, they're all going to meet on different nights. Share PR with them. Let them know who you're having. You'll let your members know who they're having. Get your presentation info into your newsletter. Meeting recap in the newsletter after the meeting with a picture or two of the vendor. That way, when you send it to the presenter, they can give it to their supervisor and say, hey, look, we were in this newsletter and they told me it went out to this many people and they shared it with this many other groups, and that gives the supervisor, hey, we're going to do this again. Put thanks to your presenters on your website. Have a page just for your presentations. Put a little recap, put a picture, and give them that advertising bonus. Put a link to their website. You might want to think about giving the presenter some kind of thank you certificate, a club t-shirt if you have them, a coffee mug, whatever. Here's a certificate of appreciation that TUGNet gives. I give a certificate of appreciation too. And when I was back at the Pikes Peak group in Colorado Springs, I was mugged, and they give people coffee mugs. Paper certificate, buy a bunch of paper certificates. The 99-cent store, the dollar store have nice little black wooden frames, and it's $1, plus whatever ink it takes you to print it. Follow up with the thank you email. Even if you thank them profusely at the meeting and they're mobbed with people saying thank you, thank you, thank you, I really appreciate it, I learned so much, don't forget that ever, thank you email to them. You want them to come back again. If you happen to have their supervisor's name, shoot an email to him or her, or include a copy with the one to the presenter and thank them for, again, a great meeting and allowing the presenter to be with you. I know when Bob G. from Avast gives a presentation, he says, if you're going to send me a thank you email, would you please copy my boss? She's over in Europe, and she needs to know that he is making a difference here in the United States. So, here's some ideas for your September meeting. It's National Disaster Preparedness Month. Let's say you're one of those groups that doesn't get much information in your newspaper. How about tying your September meeting around some kind of disaster preparedness stuff? You could invite the Red Cross. We have had the city disaster preparedness supervisor come, and it was interesting to see because, of course, she knows we're a computer club. So she brought in how they used the computers out in their parking lot during the '94 earthquake because the building was damaged, and the 2007 buckwheat fire that whipped by my house. Again, by that time, it was up from computers in '94 to smartphones and things like this. Your fire department puts on an excellent disaster preparedness presentation, and hopefully if you key it around this, you might get in the elusive newspaper or wherever you publicize. October is National Cybersecurity Month. Ira Wilsker gives a terrific presentation on cybercrime, cyber war, and cyber terrorism. It's a webinar. He's in Texas. Bob G. does an excellent presentation from Avast. He's in New Mexico. ID theft, Huey Poplock has been a victim of ID theft, and his presentation is absolutely outstanding. So there's just 3 ideas. But again, if you gear it around National Cybersecurity Month, you might, again, get some good PR about that because you're working on a national level there with something that is happening. Also, your FBI's local office and your police department for October. So, in your neighborhood, the big box office stores, the Staples, Office Max, Office Depots of the world. I have people tell me, I've tried them and I just can't get through. You need to get to know the store manager. Now, that is not the MOD, the manager of the day. This is the guy who's responsible for the store. You also need to get to know the tech support people. At Staples, Office Max, and Office Depot, I'm on first name basis and hi there, Judy, how you doing with the store managers, and I know all the tech support people. They all know I'm the president of the computer club. They know I teach computer classes. They tell me, they often say, hey, do you know there's a computer club in the Valley? Or you want to take some computer classes, try Golden Oak. Very important to get down and get to know them. And they'll eventually come through. It took me several years for Staples. The Fredericksburg group on the East Coast, they have the best success, I think, of anybody I know with the big box office stores. Just the plain old big box stores. Best Buy. Best Buy is tasked to reach out to their community. We were in a meeting the other day, and Bill James from the Computer Club of Oklahoma City said they got $1,000 for their computer club. They have so much money each month that they are supposed to give away, and if you can get your request in there and at the correct time, who knows, they might donate some money to your group. He said the only thing that he knew that they had to give them was a copy of their 501c3. The Best Buys out here in California are showing up in the malls. They're popping up in the malls, and they have small little stores that are just devoted to smartphones. I'm finding that they are more than willing to come out even above and beyond the Geek Squad type people. Groups have had Costco, the copy department, the digital photo people. They have all kinds of different services. But again, you have to find the right person to talk to in the department and become their friend. And of all things, I couldn't believe my eyes when I read in a newsletter the other day that Fry's here in Southern California was going out and giving a presentation to a group. I never thought I would see that, but it's happening. So if you have a Fry's in your area, there's precedent being set. Micro centers are some people's equivalent of Fry's, and I'm sure the rest of you have other things in your areas that are the big box like fries. Have you asked your camera store person to come and give a presentation? Again, you're giving them the opportunity to get some advertising. Possibly the people in your group that have digital cameras have no clue that it's there. It's an obscure little place. We had, when I was at CES in January, we had 2 people from the local genealogy club. It was the Mormon LDS genealogy bit. My members said it was absolutely outstanding, and they want them to come back again, and by golly, the presenters want to come back again too. We also have had an absolutely wonderful presentation from someone in our astronomy club. He brought all his stuff, and he told us how he attaches his computer in his motorhome to his telescope, and he downloads the pictures, and he prints them out, and he sends them here, and all when he's out in the boonies. Have you invited your MAC group to give a presentation? Jim Evans in Greater Cleveland has a couple of meetings each year with them. One of them is their gadget meeting towards the end of the year, and they have a web SIG that it's combined Mac and Greater Cleveland people. The same thing with your Linux group. My people requested a Linux presentation, so I invited the Linux SIG person from the group in the next valley south of me, and he came up and gave a very interesting presentation as he took his hard drive out and handed it to the lady right across from him and said, "Here, hold that for me while I give this presentation." That was quite impressive. My grandson, my oldest grandson, is a member of the Robotics Club. They will be coming out and giving a presentation. They happen to have a 3D printer too, and they will be bringing along their 3D printer and printing out something and then show us how they use it. So check your high schools. This is on the high school level. I know some junior highs have robotics club too, but check on the high school level. Call the district office and ask if the district has a robotics club, and could you get in touch with the advisor. City webmaster. We had an excellent presentation on our city's website, stuff that everybody in the room but me didn't know was there. I was so embarrassed. He said, "How many people have been on our website?" Nobody raised their hand but me. And so boy did they learn a lot. They used the website and saved your gas. We have also had the local radio station webmaster come out, and they had just updated it. Of course, I live in an area where there's a little over 200,000 people. So this is a small little radio station, and gave us an excellent presentation on all the things they had to offer. Check with your Verizon, your AT&T. Have them come out and talk about smartphones. Sam Wexler says try the dentist, the audiologist, and somebody from your local hospital or wherever, doctor's office, on medical technology. How about a chiropractor to talk about ergonomics? Extremely interesting presentation. Groups in the San Fernando Valley, one south of me, have had people from Van Nuys Airport come out, small airport, talk about airport technology. How about asking your TV weather people? All they can do is say no, and by golly, here in Southern California, the NBC weather guy said, "Sure, I'll come out and make a presentation." In my area, it's Time Warner, and they have their new home security. They are going out to groups and making presentations. How about your sheriff's department or whoever you have as your local policeman? Have them come out and walk you through their website. Same thing, have the district attorney's office. We have DAs from LA give presentations. They're more than happy to talk about identity theft, security, things like this. The ever-trusted online banking, if you haven't had a bank or you haven't had a bank for quite a while, have them come out and show you how you take pictures of checks and all of a sudden it's in your account. Car dealers. Do you have a Ford dealer in your area that has some new cars with snazzy technology? have them come out and give a presentation. AAA, they have ID theft monitoring. Costco again, and would you believe the United States Postal Service? We have had them in Southern California, and they give an awesome presentation. And you think to yourself, how boring is this, learning about what the post office does? But there is a ton and a half of stuff that you can do online. You never have to set foot in the post office. Mine is a small one, and you just don't want to go there. And it was just very, very interesting. And you can tell when your members are interested in the presentation, they're kind of sitting there just eyes glued to the screen. That's the way my group was during the post office presentation. Of course, then he moved on, and we had to then educate another person that, you know, user groups were important and we deserved another presentation. Have you had the library out? Several groups here in California, and I read newsletters, they have them out several times because there is so much information that's electronic now with the library. So you can milk this into 2 or 3 presentations over like a year and a half or something like this. Charlie Semple's tagline for the Los Angeles Computer Society's library presentation was, they're not the same old libraries anymore. The Kentucky-Indiana group just had one, and they had topics, ebooks, e-magazines, streaming music, and more. Ebooks, audiobooks, videos, e-music. Jim Evans' library in Greater Cleveland has magazines from Zinio, and he says, please check your website or give your library a call and ask if they have the Zinio magazines. Hundreds of magazines that you can check out, so to speak, electronically and read them on a gazillion different devices. Have you thought about using the push articles? I'm always saying when I send out push to the editors, this would make a good mini-meeting. The graphics are sometimes in there, all the information. I do this all the time. Ira Wilsker's articles, and you need to make sure you ask your editor, are they receiving Ira Wilsker's articles? Again, I put that in the information in the cover emails that I send, that they need to subscribe to his articles. He includes the graphics. There, you can take his articles and quickly put them into an in-house presentation. What you need to do for in-house presentations is get to know the groups in your area and share member presentations. Your members are sick and tired of seeing the same old people, I'm assuming they are, up in front of the group. Those members are tired of being the only one who gives presentations, but perhaps you could exchange presentations. That's user groups helping user groups. Like I said, I present One Valley Down about once a month, and I drive an hour every other month and present at a group in Laverne. I present occasionally to the Los Angeles Computer Society and the Long Beach group, Glendora's Seniors Computer Club. You know, so we kind of make the rounds here, and it really works out well. So get to know the other groups in your area. Get your members involved. Surely they could sit at a meeting and you could talk about the freebies on the web. The presenter didn't show up for some reason, whether it's a vendor coming in or Joe Schmo from the camera store. Have some things up your sleeve that you can sit and chat about. What are their favorite free products? Have someone at the computer who can quickly go up to the internet, go to that website and say, here it is. What are their favorite gadgets? What are their favorite aspects of a computer program? One feature that you just can't live without. What are your favorite keyboard shortcuts? These all come from Cheryl West, the advisor for California. Favorite websites? We did the favorite smartphone app, and I do have to share with you that if I had asked this at a meeting, just out in the blue, they all kind of would have looked at me and, But I had Bill James from the Speakers Bureau do his Smartphone Part 2 presentation from Oklahoma City. And afterwards, we had plenty of time, so I said, what are your favorite smartphone apps? And couldn't shut them up. They just kept talking about what their favorite ones were, and everybody's writing them down like crazy. I got my 2 cents worth in and just mentioned the flashlight, and I had about 6 people say, huh, I can get a flashlight? Yes, you can. Members that have Kindles or Nooks or whatever, have them bring them to a meeting and just ask them to talk about how they use it. We did this, and I had 2 gals who never say anything, but they're there faithfully all of the time, stand up, and you almost couldn't shut them up as they were telling everybody how they used their Kindles. And it was so funny because of the 4 or 5 people that brought their Kindles, they all used them differently. So they, again, all learned from each other. You might want to think about having people bring in their tablets and compare them. How do you use yours? How does the other person? You can demo Skype on the fly. You can demo Zoom US. You can demo Dropbox. On the Skype and the Zoom US, I'd have somebody sitting at home somewhere, or in my case, it's my middle kid, my youngest daughter, and I would call her and Skype, and we'd chat, and so everybody could see how easy it is to do. The same with Zoom US. With Dropbox, when I have talked about Dropbox and done a short demo, I have asked Jim Evans in Greater Cleveland to update one of the folders we share so they could actually see it pop up in the corner, and I could then click on it and show them the file that he just shared with me. I would ask you to raise your hands, but I couldn't see them, but how many of your members ever take a look at your website? You might want to take some time to tour it. Give them an idea what's there. The Canton-Maitland Alliance group in Ohio redid theirs, and they had a treasure hunt. They sent the members, you need to find this, 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 and this in the website. Bring your answers to the meeting, and we'll have a drawing for a prize. Online. How can you get some resources from online for your meetings? You can always, and groups are using them more and more all the time, the videos or the recordings of our sessions, and they're showing them at their groups. I'm a newsletter junkie, so I kind of see what other groups across the United States, Canada, and Australia are doing, and a lot of them are using the YouTube videos. Bob Vance sent out an email that said Len Nassman from Bristol Village in Ohio had a wonderful digital photo presentation, a digital camera presentation. So I included the bit.ly link to that. You might want to take a look at his just in a pinch. You can have these kinds of things, you know, in a Word document or something, you know, and all else fails. There's Google Tech Training videos. Our friends at O'Reilly, all of their webinars that they give, I always sign up for them. They're on Thursday mornings. I'm at the library working in the Friends of the Library bookstore, but I sign up for them, and then I watch them afterwards. But they have a repository of them. They're 60 minutes of excellent information. Something called JAG Tutorials that I found. They have some new nifty Windows 8 short training videos. Don Singleton always loved the iTunes University. If you have a antivirus software that people really like, they all have videos up there, whether they're cartoons and funny or serious explaining. Again, it's something that you could put in for just a mini presentation. Vast. Microsoft Office has 15-minute training videos that you could use. Adobe, they have hardcore training videos that you can use for their high-end products or down as far as Elements. Cheryl Wester loves Patrick Crispin's PowerPoints. And remember this for next year. Look for Google's April Fool's videos. They did quite a number on them, and of course I found out about it after my April meeting. And I'm going to show a few of them at the May meeting. I don't care if I'm a month and 6 weeks late, but they had some really nifty things up there that were quite clever. And just search for more videos that you can have up your sleeve just in case, or if you book a presenter who at 45 minutes they're finished and you still have an hour and a half to go. So have some of these up your sleeve just in case. And APC is a good resource. Again, our YouTube videos, our Speakers Bureau. I am finding many groups are having someone from the Speakers Bureau every other month. It's working out quite well for them. Their program chair does not need to find 12 presenters. They find 6 themselves, and they go to the Speakers Bureau list on apcug.net, and they start going through the list and having them on. They are extremely well received, and we have well over 75 presentations listed, and we're adding more all of the time as we find people who are willing to do this. If there is anybody listening to me, I know I saw Jerry Minnick's name on there. He's one of our, probably he and Francis Chow are our 2 most widely used Speakers Bureau presenters. Everybody just loves their presentations. But if this is something that you would like to do, you give presentations to your clubs, please get in touch with me. I'd love to have some fresh bodies and blood up there and more, different topics. So think about it. If you want to see what other groups are doing for presentations and get an idea or new ideas, go to the online newsletter list on apcug.net. It's under websites, and start at the top and just start going through, and it will give you a link to their newsletter, and just check out what the other groups are doing. We all get stale. So many of us have been program chairs, it seems like, since the beginning of time. And how many times can you do the same thing over and over again? So check out the online newsletter list and see if you can't get some fresh ideas. Vendor tours. I do vendor tours. You might want to think about coordinating one in your area. More bang for their buck. Remember, they're paying for their airfare, their car rental, their hotel. Big Bear offers a B&B, and their food. So get to know the groups in your area. Use the UGLS to find groups in your area that meet consecutively, days or weeks. Wheels down. Ask them how far they'll travel between groups. It's usually 250, something like this. Our second week tour in Los Angeles is 1 group on Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 2 Thursday, 1 Saturday. One of the Thursday groups changed their meetings so they could be part of our tour. I'm a small group. It's one of the ways I get, presenters from out of town. Bob Vast is coming to the Southwest Conference in June, and he got in touch and said, hey, how about setting me up before and after for presentations? So he'll be here from June 11th to July 13th. I have him scheduled for 15 presentations. The furthest one is 251 miles away from where he's staying at the conference, and then he's 3 days with us at the conference. And I'm sure he will also be giving webinars in his hotel room. So I contact the groups in advance. I send the info to Bob. He says, okay, or gee, I don't really have time, I don't want to go that far, or whatever. I recontact the groups to let them know it's a go. I deal with the president, and then I send the final schedule to Bob, and it's over to him. I do it as a courtesy for his support of the Southwest Computer Conference that's here in Southern California that he's supported for years, and just as a thank you for a vast support. So make sure your user group attitude is what can we do for you, so it's a win-win situation. And I talked about certificates and mugs. Don't forget, if you have members who give presentations. They deserve a certificate too. Or you could give them one of the O'Reilly quarterly certificates that I send out. You get, if you're a member of the O'Reilly 5-book per quarter program, you get 2 hardcover books, and I send you 3 certificates. And one of the things that Marcy said, there are no strings attached. You don't need to do a review. But she said, how about giving the ebook certificates as a thank you to someone who makes a presentation? So don't forget your members who make presentations. A nice, crisp certificate or one of the ebook certificates. I hope you guys got some new ideas. I did putting this together, and it's a work of art between a presentation that I did at Southwest. Jean Barlow was the vendor side. We were the entertainment at lunch one time. Input from Jim Evans as well as Cheryl Wester. And I do thank them all for helping me put this together. I see that our chat is not working. If you have any questions for me about anything, you can get in touch. I'm Jay Talour, Taylour, at apcug.org. Thank you.
Judy?
Yes.
Some people are having the chat working, and I've been chatting back and forth. And if there's any questions, they can type them in if they have access to it. One question was, if I can go back and find it. Can you mute your mic for a second? Okay, and then I'll let you know since I've asked the question, then you can go ahead. So we can not drive people nuts with our echo. Anyway, one person said, is there a way to subscribe? And I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I'll just have to do it from memory. Is there a way to subscribe to Ira Wilsker's articles? Go ahead, Judy.
Yes, there is. You send an email to iWilsker, WILSKER, at sbcglobal.net. And there it is on the screen for you. I have all of the resources that I talked about and probably 4 or 5 pages at the end of the presentation. Any other questions, Huey?
I'm typing it, and there'll be a link as well. Let's see, global.net. Okay, and there's a link in their chat box if they have access to it. Doesn't see anything else. Betty said, thanks, Judy. You're so inspiring. Bim said, wonderful, lots of good ideas. Jerry Steele said, awesome ideas. Somebody asked if there's a way to download either the slides or the presentation notes, and we'll have them posted on our website probably in the next couple of days. It takes a few days to get the videos ready. I'll try to get the PDFs of the slides for all of the sessions online in the next day or two. And Roger says, thanks, Judy. And we're about 2 minutes left if there's any other questions. Steve Costello said, video ideas, try Grovo, GROVO.com and TED.com. You might want to add those to your list. Joyce Shu, does anyone have a problem with the name of your user group being a PC user group? So we aren't attracting young members. Does changing the name of the group to something with technology help? Judy, your microphone may still be off, but the answer to that is
okay.
Oh, there you go.
There I am. Definitely, you should add technology. We used to be the SCV PC user group, and nobody really knows what a user group is. They kind of go, huh? And so, silly me changed it to SCV Computer Club before we all said we need to get technology in our name. And so, yes, you should get technology in your name somehow. and just put you a little bit more up to date. I have changed the name of the Southwest Conference many, many times. It is now the Southwest Technology and Computer Conference, and it started out with it was a regional user group conference 20 years ago. So yes, please get technology, and when you send out your media releases, make sure technology's in there too.